Well, here I am at last. I never thought I'd make it. I hope the hike was worth it, and those soldiers know something about Gina.
Freeze! Hands behind your head!
But
I said hands up, mister!
Okay. All right, man, keep it cool.
Listen, pal, it's nothing personal, but you can never be too careful.
This is not necessary. I'm unarmed. I just wanted to ask if you guys saw a girl fall into the lake this morning.
How would I know? All girl stuff is part of the Colonel's privileges. Yo, get over here!
Could I speak with the Colonel then?
I don't know why I should help you, dude, but you caught me in a good mood. Wait here, and I'll go ask him. Don't take your eyes off him, Felton. Leslie, a civilian wants to talk to the Colonel. All right, Felton, accompany the civilian into the Colonel's tent.
As you ordered. Leslie, this is the guy who wants to have a word with the Colonel.
Caught him by surprise.
One moment, my Colonel. Thank you, Felton. You, come here, please.
The gun as usual.
Mr.
Caught him by surprise.
Uh-huh.
You stupid old Theodore.
I've taken note, my Colonel.
Huge trunks.
Your name?
Brian Basco.
Well, Mr. Basco, wait here. Mr. What's-his-face wishes to speak with you, my Colonel.
Who? Tell him I'm asleep, flower pot.
But he can hear you speaking right now, my Colonel.
I must be speaking in my sleep, flower pot.
No, Daddy, you're more of the snoring type.
Flower pot, that memory of yours is worse than a senile old general's. Get it through that thick skull of yours that there are no mommies or daddies in the army. Get over here a minute. I need to explain something. And pull those shirt tails out of your pants. You look like a mama's boy. Look here, Lester. Why do you think I call you Flower Pot? To belittle you? No. It's such an outlandish surname that nobody will suspect it's fake. If the troops knew I sired a dim-witted boob like you, they'd lose their confidence in me, and I'd be shafted. You get it, son?
Hej, siemano wam wszystkim ludzie, z tej strony Arturo, witam was na swoim kanale i kontynuujemy Runaway sen żółwia. Dotarliśmy do bazy wojskowej. Okej, w takim razie się tutaj rozejrzyjmy, mamy...
I'm sorry, Daddy. I mean, my Colonel. Oh, by the way, the satellite has located that shipment of cigars you were being sent from Cuba, my Colonel.
It's about time, Flower Pot. Coordinates?
I didn't memorize them, my Colonel, but I'll ask for them again right away.
God damn it, Flower Pot. Aren't you using that planner I gave you for Christmas? Do it now, and send a couple of men to the area. I want those cigars brought to me, as of yesterday. Out of my sight, Flower Pot.
You can come in, Mr. whatever you're called.
Thanks.
Well then,
Good morning. My name is...
is that what you came to tell me, civilian? Or did you have something interesting to say?
Well, I'd like to ask you about...
Negative. I'm the one asking questions here.
Yeah, but I was just wondering whether...
What do you think this is? A Q&A in the Pentagon press room? I'm warning you. Nobody interrogates me.
It's really just a quick...
Look here, civvy boy. Are you dumb or am I explaining this all wrong? If you ask me one more question, you're gonna spend the next 15 days in my refrigerator. Got that?
In the refrigerator? Well, if you give me a baseball to toss around...
Okay then. Now answer this. What in Sam Hill are you doing on my island?
Okej, strasznie niemiły ten pułkownik, ogólnie nie podoba mi się. Jest to pułkownik US Army, czyli Stanów Zjednoczonych. Prawdę mówiąc, wcale nie chciałem tu przychodzić, ale moja dziewczyna...
Actually, I didn't even want to come here. It was this girlfriend of mine.
Well. It turns out the smart Alex civilian is just a boy in love. Son, if you were a soldier, no woman would be playing around with you. Why don't you enlist?
Nie mogę sobie wyobrazić siebie w mundurze.
I can't picture myself in a uniform. Green doesn't go with my skin tone, and helmets give me a headache.
So this is what goddamn civil society has made us sink to? You keep in mind, boy, that I only tolerate 3 kinds of civilians. Women, kids, and the crippled. The rest of y'all should be under military command, killing for your homeland and dying in combat. But those dang politicians and scientists back in D.C. are all fooled with their welfare state, human rights, and atomic weaponry systems. They're trying to do away with the real army and values that make men men.
Brzmi to naprawdę zachęcająco, ale nie chcę nikogo zabijać.
It sounds truly exciting, but I don't want to have to kill anyone.
So you're that kind of folks. You say that 'cause you never tried. But once you acquire a taste for it, you'd kill to try again.
Zaciągnąć się ja, czy wyglądam na głupka?
Enlist? Me? Do I look like a fool?
What kind of sissy are you, boy? When the winds of change blow through, and they will, you're gonna have to fight. Then I'd like to see what you use your pretty face for. I told you, I won't tolerate the 3rd degree. So answer me or suffer the consequences.
Nie wiem, nigdy nie trzymałem broni.
I don't know. I've never held a weapon.
Hey, where'd you go to grammar school, boy? Didn't you get an education?
Man, that's not what I meant. I must have wigged out.
Oh yeah? What do you mean then?
Nie miałem pojęcia, że ta wyspa należy do pana.
I had no idea this island belonged to you. It must have cost you a small fortune.
I say it's mine 'cause I'm in charge here. Didn't anyone tell you martial law has been imposed on Mala Island?
Dlaczego mamy stan wojenny?
Why are we under martial law?
'Cause that way I'm not obliged to answer questions from imbecile civilians like yourself. And even less so when they're about unauthorized topics.
Niemożliwe, nie słyszałem, żebyśmy prowadzili wojnę.
No way. I didn't know we were at war.
Well, we aren't, unfortunately. You know how much I miss the old days back in Nam?
Jest pan chyba jedynym, który tęskni za przegraną wojną.
You must be the only person alive who misses a lost war.
I should have kicked the bucket in that war, you know. They riddled me with bullets, so I knelt down and raised my arms for a more photogenic demise. And then some bird brain came along, threw me on his back, and saved me. So here I am, on a 2-bit island with no way to die heroically.
Ale po Wietnamie były też inne. Na pewno brał pan udział w jakimś ważnym konflikcie.
There've been others since Vietnam. You must have been in some later conflict.
All of them. Even a few you ain't never heard of. Like that time the Reds put fluoride in the water supply to poison our minds. But none was as fun as Nam.
Proszę nie narzekać, siedzi pan teraz na rajskiej wyspie.
Quit complaining. You're on a paradise island now.
Don't overestimate the fun here. There ain't no enemy battalions at the beach, shrapnel with breakfast, or flocks of vultures hovering over the trenches. Now that would be paradise.
Widzę, że jest pan człowiekiem czynu.
I see you're a man of action.
Like any man with a sense of self-worth, civilian. Like the men of yesteryear, those soldiers who killed at gunpoint. They didn't depend on them bureaucrats and their nuclear arms. But the old days are making a comeback. You'll see, soon.
Getting back to what I was saying?
Widzę, że umiera pan z pragnienia, żeby mi wytłumaczyć, dlaczego wprowadzono stan wojenny.
I can tell you're dying to explain why martial law has been declared.
The reason has to do with a big, fat military secret. I wouldn't divulge it to a civilian, even if I was authorized. And definitely not to the likes of you.
I couldn't care less about the martial law, but I'll tell you why I'm on Mala Island.
I knew I could get you to sing in the end. Come on, fess up.
Moja dziewczyna spadła do jeziora i sądzę, że to wy ją uratowaliście.
A girlfriend of mine fell into the lake, and I think you guys rescued her.
Negative, civilian. My men monitor every centimeter of Mala Island, and they ain't seen none of that. You sure that happened on this patch of land?
Jeśli jej pan nie widział, to musi pan być na wpół ślepy.
Yeah, if you haven't seen her, it's because you're all half blind. Sorry.
Are you mocking me, civvy boy? Just remember, if I get a hold of your girl, I can give her a real hard time.
Otóż uważam, że jest tu przetrzymywana wbrew swej woli.
In fact, I think she's being held here against her will.
You don't say. There may be another possibility. She might be hiding from you.
Właściwie to nie wypadła, wypchnąłem ją z samolotu.
Well, she didn't exactly fall. I threw her out in mid-flight.
Something was telling me you're not all bad, boy, and I was right. Turns out you're my kind of man. So, did you enjoy that experience?
To nie było tak, jak pan myśli. Wypchnąłem ją, żeby ją ratować.
It's not what you think. I pushed her out to save her.
No reason to apologize. You done nothing wrong.
Jestem pewien, żeby ją pan zabił.
I bet you would have killed her. You look like a despicable slayer of helpless women.
Come on, boy. There's no reason to start kissing up to me at this point. And I don't know what you mean by helpless. You look the other way and they start weaving a web, like a tarantula. Ha! That was pretty funny, like red tarantulas.
Czułem się okropnie, patrząc jak spada moja dziewczyna.
I felt awful as I watched my girlfriend fall through the sky.
Don't worry about that. You'll get over it. The first time always hurts. Then you get used to it. You even start to yearn for it. I'd do it all day long if I could.
Did I say I pushed her? I keep saying the silliest things lately.
You've got me more turned round than a dog chasing his tail. Let's see. Now, what did you mean?
I mean, that's not what I meant. It's that I'm not obliged to answer that question. I'll only respond in the presence of my attorney.
So that's your game, huh? Well, move your butt out of my tent, boy, and keep it still until the evacuation takes place.
If only you could offer me a nice plush mattress to park it on with my girl.
Don't you get smart with me, boy. In a few hours, you and all the other civilians left on Mala will be shipped out. The boat's on its way. It's a matter of hours. Flower pot?
Colonel, sir!
Escort the civilian to the door. And if he makes any funny moves, kill him. That guy rubs me the wrong way. I don't want him turning into a relentless pest. Tarantula.
I don't know why, but I get a sneaky feeling that the Colonel is hiding something. What's more, when I came out, I saw a girl being escorted by a soldier toward Kordsmeyer's tent. For a moment there, I thought it was Gina, and I almost bumped into her. She was blonde and wearing a very tight red leather outfit, but what in the world could that insane colonel be up to? It's clearer and clearer to me that Gina's being held somewhere inside the camp, but they're watching every step I take, so it's impossible to get a good look around. I'll have to find some other way to get in, no matter how hard I have to try. But it won't do me any good to rescue Gina if we have no way out afterward. With all travel by sea and air cut off, those military types would find us in no time. It's obvious. I'll have to cook up a plan to sneak into the camp and find a way to escape from the island. However, with the little help I have, that's gonna be one tall order. My only support is a plastered primate, who I'm gradually becoming fond of, I must say. And now that he woke up, his little eyes look so sad. They remind me of a little basset hound puppy I once had in New York. I'll name the little lemur after him. Little Demon.
Mały demon, tak nazwał swoją małpeczkę. No okej. Byliśmy w obozie wojskowym. Teoretycznie nie podoba mi się ten pułkownik. Coś ukrywa i coś mówi o jakimś statku i że wyspę będzie trzeba ewakuować. Dlaczego? Co się tutaj dzieje? I dlaczego jest tutaj pełno armii? Jest jakiś żołnierz, z którym mogę porozmawiać. Chciałbym jeszcze raz porozmawiać z pułkownikiem. Nie. Na razie do pułkownika nie chcę iść. Wystarczy mi. Nie jadłem śniadania. Może skoczę na chwilę do stołówki i...
I didn't have any breakfast. Mind if I go to the mess hall for a sandwich?
Only the colonel can give you authorization to see the camp, buddy.
Niech to. Zapomniałem, co chciałem powiedzieć. Może lepiej wrócę.
Shoot, I forgot what I was gonna say. Maybe I'd better come back later.
Pipe down, buddy. I'm not gonna budge.
Dobra, później spróbujemy dostać się do obozu. Teoretycznie mamy tutaj rozwidlenie. Mogę iść w prawo bądź w lewo.
Hummers, trucks, tanks, planes. Looks like they came with the full kit. Looks like it leads to a crossroad. I'll go see what I find.
O,
I can't take one more step. I feel like someone poured a pot of boiling soup into my shoes and I'm cooking noodles between my toes. But it was worth it. Finally, some contact with civilization. There's another soldier with a car. I hope this one doesn't give me any flack. Let's see what the area has to offer.
Ogólnie fajna okolica, podoba mi się. Taka idealna na wakacje.
Eureka! A bar! With a waitress and everything. Today's your lucky day. Let's go chat her up.
Brian, pamiętaj, że jesteś z Giną. Mimo wszystko, nie powinieneś podrywać innych panienek. A coś czuję, że w oko mu wpadnie ta blondyna w obcisłym skórzanym czerwonym stroju.
Hi there.
Aloha! Welcome to Luana Beach. Where did you come from?
Well, if you mean my place of birth, I come from New York. I got to Mala Island just this morning and...
You don't fool me. I haven't seen any boats or planes arrive in the last 3 days.
The thing is, I landed on the other side of the island, in a biplane that looks worse than a World War II relic.
Did you fly in with Otto?
No way! You guys know each other?
Yeah, we're old pals, and I adore his cool plane. I met my ex-boyfriend Charlie in it. Where is old Otto, by the way?
I think he went to Kauai. Yeah, he left full speed ahead to deliver a shipment of Capote dogs.
Oh, I love those little puppies, and they have such a cute name. Mine is Lokelani, stranger, which means heavenly rose.
Nice to meet you, Lokelani. I'm Brian.
Oh, crap. You have the same name as my moron of an ex-boyfriend.
I thought his name was Charlie.
No, that was a different boyfriend. Brian was this loser I'd prefer to forget about. So I'll just have to pick a different name for you. Do you like Kaimi? It means he who searches in Hawaiian.
I like the way it sounds. And if you knew me better, you'd realize it suits me to a T.
Oh yeah, and that fluffy love ball of a cockatoo is Aolani, my best friend, and the only male I can trust.
Charmed, Aolani. Lokelani, I wanted to ask you for something.
Oh, sorry. I must be the worst waitress in the Pacific. What can I do for you, Kaimi?
No, I didn't mean that. I just wanted to chat with you.
I don't know whether to believe you. Whenever my ex said some girl had just chatted with him, I knew to expect the worst.
Brian did that?
Oh no, that was Mikhail, a 7-foot-tall Russian. So, surprise me. What should we chat about?
Już mi się nie podoba ta panienka. Miała tyle chłopaków, ile... Ja nawet nie mam tyle skarpetek w szufladzie. Coś mi się wydaje, że to jest taka, wiecie, cicha, dajka. Nie zauważyłem tu zbyt wielu ludzi.
I haven't seen many people around here.
Yeah, the island's population has been reduced to just a few friends of mine. And this guy dressed like a monk who arrived last night. Plus me and the military guys, as you've observed.
O, powiedz mi o tym gościu, który przypomina mnicha.
Tell me about that guy who looks like a monk.
He must have gotten here last night after I closed up. He hasn't budged all morning and didn't even notice when I went to say hi. Maybe he's deaf, like my ex.
Mikhail?
No, Renee. He was a better man than most. He was deaf as a doorknob, but he could listen so much better than the average male.
Bo nic nie słyszał, dlatego potrafił słuchać, bo w ogóle cię nie słuchał. Dlaczego nie ewakuowali ciebie i twoich przyjaciół?
Why didn't they evacuate you and your friends?
They let me stay a few days longer. Colonel's orders. I don't know why, though. And my 2 friends stayed because Knife took Kai for a ride in his motorboat, so the military guys didn't find them till they got back.
O, powiedz mi o swoim przyjacielu Kaju.
Talk to me about your friend Kai.
The poor thing lost his leg to a shark, but he's still the best surfer Mala Island has ever seen, and he comes from a long line of amazing witch doctors. His grandfather, the last kahuna in the family saga, even had his own TV show.
Opowiedz mi o nożu.
Tell me about knife.
He goes for the heart-stopping excitement, but he's fickle. Every once in a while, he gets obsessed with a new hobby. Right now, it's surfing, and that's all he thinks about. Lately, the waves around here have been smaller than in a kiddie pool, so he spends the day island hopping in his speedboat in search of killer waves. Oh, and then there's Koala, his son, but you'd better just meet him for yourself.
Where can I find your friends?
They live together at Alawala Cove. If you want to meet them, just follow the highway toward the northeast, and you'll come across their hut. I recommend it as a day trip. It's a lovely spot. Some people think Tiki Temple ruins are prettier, but since they're in the militarized zone, visits are out of the question.
Jak sobie radzisz z tymi wojskowymi na wyspie?
Do you get along with the military guys here on the island?
That first night, they all came here to get sloshed. But then I think the colonel forbid them to return. Now he comes alone.
Może po prostu był zazdrosny o tak piękną kobietę za barem i po prostu chciał mieć ją tylko dla siebie. Kiedy się tu zjawili?
When did they get here?
About 3 days ago, they evacuated everyone, declared a state of emergency, and set up camp at the Tiki Temple ruins. Rumor has it there was some deadly virus running rampant, but I think the soldiers are being paid off by real estate speculators. They'll end up developing the island into a huge golf course for bored old moneybags, like my ex.
Are you talking about Charlie?
No, I meant Renako, an African millionaire who had petroleum coming out of his diamond-studded ears.
Znasz faceta, który dowodzi żołnierzami?
Do you know the man in charge of the troops?
The colonel? Yeah, he looks a lot like my ex, but with half the looks and twice the wrinkles. And he doesn't have that hot criminal look, of course.
Your ex-boyfriend, Brian?
No, Milo, a kid from Central Europe or somewhere around there.
Nie wiedziałem, że wolisz starszych mężczyzn.
I didn't know you liked older men.
It's not that I have anything for them. The only difference is on the surface, really. Inside, all men are equally childish, no matter what their age. But don't worry, most of us women like children.
Rozmawiałem z nim i wygląda na to, że dla ciebie zaokrętował się na statku miłości.
After talking with him, it sounds like you got him sailing the Love Boat.
Love boat? Well, he can batten down the hatches and lower his mast, because there's no way I'm riding his love vessel. Plus, I can't stand tobacco smoke, and last night he came here smoking this big fat stogie. It gave off a hideous stench.
I don't like talking about that guy.
Don't look at me. You're the one who brought him up.
Military men bore me. I'm changing the subject.
Well, my ex-boyfriend was a military thug, and he really made me laugh.
Mikhail?
No, Tiru, a hilarious sergeant from India.
Pewnie nie słyszałeś, żeby któryś z żołnierzy wspomniał o mojej dziewczynie, która wylądowała na wyspie.
I suppose you didn't hear any of those soldiers mention a girlfriend of mine who fell into the lake.
Well, well, a girl. And here I was thinking you didn't have a girlfriend.
No, she isn't my girlfriend.
You sure? Look straight into my eyes and tell me she's not your girlfriend. Into my eyes, Kaimi. A little bit higher. Higher. There.
Jest moją kuzynką.
She's my cousin.
You lie worse than my ex.
Charlie?
No, Lopati. A gorgeous Polynesian hunk.
Nie jest moją dziewczyną.
She is not my girlfriend.
Well, that's just too bad for her, isn't it? You're a bit of a liar, but an adorable one.
Mylisz się, moją prawdziwą przyjaciółką jest piłka nożna, niezbędna na każdej sensownej, bezludnej wyspie.
You're wrong. My friend is really a soccer ball, necessary on any worthwhile desert island.
Men. The only time they don't think about balls is when they're playing with them.
Hey, look! It's a cockatoo impaled on a stake.
Talk about getting off topic.
Let's talk about something else.
All right, if that's the best you can come up with.
Nie wydaje mi się, żebyś miała dużo pracy.
It doesn't seem like you have much work.
Well, before the military got here, my boss didn't give me a moment of tropical island peace. Wait on the bar. Go down to the storeroom. Clean up the photo stand. Shoo those lemurs off the bucking bronco. Put on a skimpier outfit.
Masz chyba świetnego szefa, nie ma co.
Sounds like you have a great boss. Huh.
If only you knew. Once I thought it might be nice to set out some trays of fresh coconut, and he said, "I don't pay you to think." If I get so bold as to give a free drink to a customer, he threatens to fire me, because he's the biggest skinflint in the Pacific. And on top of that, when the soldiers came, he ran off like a sissy, but told me that if I closed up shop, he'd fire me.
Co mówiłaś o stadzie lemurów?
What was it you said about a bunch of lemurs?
I know it sounds weird, but a few years ago, a Japanese boat full of giant lemurs sunk nearby. It was headed for New York. Anyway, the lemurs swam to shore and took over the beach. You can't imagine what lushes they were. If I turned my back for a second, they'd rip off all the booze. They were bombed day and night, destroying everything they got their little prehensile paws on, until we managed to run them into the jungle on the other side of the island.
Well, I suppose this bar isn't exactly the workplace of your dreams, is it?
Don't be so sure. I've had worse jobs. I even worked in Hollywood as a makeup artist. It sounds all glamorous at first, but when you have to turn 3,000 midgets into extraterrestrials, all the glitz and bling bling starts to fade.
Więc jak udało ci się znaleźć pracę w Hollywood?
So, how did you manage to find work in Hollywood?
You know, the same way everyone gets a break in the movie world.
Maybe you should save it for another time. There may be minors reading this.
What a dirty little mind you have. I got my break thanks to my mom, who was a makeup artist. She would take me to film shoots before I learned to walk.
Oj, charakteryzacja filmowa to pewnie ciężka praca.
Oh, doing movie makeup must be a hard job.
Not really. Maybe it used to be, but ever since they came out with Grease Paint Pro, you can make your grandma look like a star, as the slogan says.
Co to jest to Grease Paint Pro?
What is that Grease Paint Pro thing?
It's the computer software we movie makeup artists use. You can scan a picture of the character you want to create, another of the person you're making over, and in a few seconds it gives you a range of makeup options, along with the list of the products you'll need, the features you should accentuate or cover up. To put it simply, it's a very expensive wonder program that only big production companies can afford.
Ale sam Grease Paint Pro przecież nie wystarczy. Założę się, że bez twojego talentu byłoby całkiem na nic.
But with Grease Paint Pro alone, it's not enough, is it? I bet it's useless without your talent.
They're all essential. The computer, the talent, the scanner, the printer, and of course, the makeup products. I don't mean to brag, but I have them all. The great thing about having a computer geek as a boyfriend is that he can set up a home machine for you that's better than the ones most professionals use.
I don't mean to butt into your business, but are you talking about Mikhail?
No, Koji-san, this guy from Tokyo.
What were we chatting about?
All you men are the same. You're so busy looking at our cleavage, you can't pay attention to what we're saying. So it makes no difference. We can talk about whatever you wish.
Pracowałaś przy jakichś słynnych filmach?
Did you work on any famous films?
I wouldn't know. I never go to the movies. I mainly worked in horror movies until I met this director. We started going out, and he hired me to do 3 movies all at the same time.
You don't say. I bet his name was Andy. Or maybe it was Larry.
You're a really bad guesser. Anyway, his name was Peter. He made films in Australia, or did something down under.
You don't look like a makeup artist. Or a waitress, for that matter.
I'm not sure if I want to know what you see me as.
I'm gonna take a stroll. See ya later on.
See you around.
W końcu skończyliśmy rozmawiać z tą dziewczyną. Naprawdę, wydaje mi się, że te rozmowy były zdecydowanie przeciągane. Spójrz na popielniczkę.
It's full of sand, ash, cigarette butts, and that looks like a cigar holder. I bet I can find some use for that. If I remember right, that's the brand Kordsmeyer smokes.
Okej.
No thanks.
Wzięliśmy jakiś przedmiot do ekwipunku. Cygarniczka.
It's made of aluminum. Special cocktails for $5. Sure, why not? Look, Ilani, could I borrow your chalkboard?
Go ahead. Nobody's ordering any cocktails around here anymore.
comes with chalk, too.
Okej, wzięliśmy tablicę z kredą. A ja bym chętnie zamówił coś do picia, jest strasznie gorąco, a mi się pić chce.
The truth is, I do feel like having a drink, though this isn't a good time. No, I'd better not take advantage of Loki Lonnie's good faith. Plus, I doubt they do me much good.
Wystarczyłaby zwykła woda gazowana. Mamy tutaj aloani.
What an unpleasant winged rat. Despite its bad temper, I bet it's got a bigger brain than some people I know.
Jestem ciekaw, czy będę mógł z nim porozmawiać.
I'll try to win over its trust, and then maybe it'll leave me alone. Hello, my pretty. What in the world did I do to deserve such hatred? Let's drop it. It's not worth it.
Okej. No i chyba nic więcej już stąd zabrać nie będę mógł. Tak mi się przynajmniej wydaje. Być może na tą chwilę, może później. Chociaż mamy jeszcze jakiś stojak na serwetki.
It's inspired by the traditional statues of Hawaii. No, and I wouldn't take one even if they were placed in a less compromising part of the statue.
Czyli jednak nic nie mogę zabrać. Idź do mechaniczny byk. Idź do szałas. Idź do drewniana konstrukcja. No dobra. Idź do centrum turystyczne. No mamy tutaj kilka miejsc do odwiedzenia. Może zaczniemy od tego byka.
My goodness, the collateral damage of tourism. If you ask me, rodeos and, of course, bucking broncos are about as Hawaiian as koalas, just to give an example. It looks more like a buffalo than a bull, but what's the difference in Hawaii? No, it's such a wreck something might happen to me. Plus, it probably doesn't even work.
A może działa? Ale nie widzę żadnych elementów interaktywnych, ani przedmiotów, które mógłbym ewentualnie zabrać. Chociaż mamy jakąś klapę.
That's the weight of the machinery that makes the bronco buck. Yeah, maybe I'll find something interesting. Or maybe something dangerous. What a mess! The only danger inside there is getting tetanus with all that rusty metal.
Czyli jednak nic. O, jest mnich.
He looks like a character from The Name of the Rose. Hello, nice man. Hello. Yoo-hoo! Nothing. Either this guy's deaf or he's on a real trip. I hope he sees lots of planets on the way. Oh, look! He moves and everything. Did that mean yes? Hi, my name is Brian. Nice to meet you. I guess he can only nod to express the idea of yes. Man, how innovative. Do you know any other tricks? Wow, he can shake his head to say no, too.
Nie zauważyłeś może przypadkiem spadającej z nieba dziewczyny?
You didn't happen to see a girl fall out of the sky lately, did you?
Może mnich nie jest właściwą osobą do zadawania pytań o kobiety. Spróbuję sformułować to inaczej.
Maybe a monk isn't the person to ask about a woman, so I'll rephrase the question. Have you seen a man with no hair on his face fall out of the sky?
Nic nie wiedział. Skoro ma kaptur założony na oczy, no to jak mógł cokolwiek widzieć? A może widziałeś jak spadła i uznałeś to za cud?
Maybe you saw her fall and thought it was a miracle. I have a hunch you're not going to be much help, so I'll just drop the subject.
Gościu ewidentnie niczego nie wiedział. Nie widzę wyraźnie twojej twarzy, ale mam nieodparte wrażenie, że gdzieś już się spotkaliśmy.
I can't see your face very well, but I get the sinking feeling we've met before.
Jesteś mistrzem w mówieniu tak i nie, ale nie wiem, czy naprawdę mnie rozumiesz, czy może masz taki trik.
You're a whiz at saying yes or no, but I don't know if you really understand me or if you just have a nervous tick.
Okej. Czy przestałeś kiwać i kręcić głową z jakiegoś powodu, czy może jesteś członkiem binarnej sekty?
Did you stop nodding and shaking your head for some reason, or are you a member of a binary sect?
Tak i nie. Rozumiesz, co do ciebie mówię, czy tylko losowo odpowiadasz tak i nie?
Do you understand my language, or do you just say yes and no at random?
Może nie wykonujesz innych gestów, bo nie chcesz?
Maybe you don't make any other gestures out of spite.
Nie jesteś gadatliwy, więc chyba nie ma powodu, by pytać, czy umiesz czytać i pisać.
You're not a big talker, so there's no reason to ask whether you can read or write. I think I've gotten a bit mixed up, so let's change the subject. We'll chat some other time, okay? Good luck, my friend. This guy may know something, but if he keeps talking that way, it'll be hard to discern the important part. Besides the fact that, luckily, he isn't deaf.
Okej, porozmawialiśmy z mnichem, a raczej my zadawaliśmy pytania, a on odpowiadał tak lub nie. Ale wiecie co? Wydaje mi się, bo mamy ogólnie tablicę z kredą. Może będzie w stanie mi coś narysować.
Okie doke. Let's see if he knows how to write. Hey, guy, I found a chalkboard for you. If I give it to you, you can write on it, and you won't be stuck just saying yes and no. Do you mean yes, you'll still answer yes and no, or yes, you won't? It doesn't matter. Here, take it. Thank you. You're welcome, man. You see, I wanted to ask you a few questions. Get to the point. So, you're in a hurry now? No. Running out of chalk.
Moja dziewczyna wpadła do jeziora. Jesteś pewien, że jej nie widziałeś?
A girlfriend of mine fell into the lake. Are you sure you haven't seen her? Very sure.
Co tu robisz?
What are you doing here? I have a mission to accomplish.
O jaką misję chodzi, jeśli wolno spytać?
What kind of mission do you mean, if I may ask? You may not.
Jeśli przybyłeś z misją, to nie jesteś mnichem, tylko misjonarzem.
If you have a mission, then you're not a monk, you're a missionary. And you are a twit. Maybe it'd be better to change the subject. Okay.
Coś mi się wydaje, że wszyscy na tej wyspie uważają mnie za kretyna. Ta babeczka przy barze, ten mnich, ten pułkownik. Nie wiem, czy Brian ma takiego pecha, czy po prostu faktycznie sprawia takie wrażenie. Ojcze, zgrzeszyłem.
Father, I have sinned. What are you telling me for? What a useless monk. I am no monk.
Jesteś niemową, czy tylko udajesz?
Are you mute or just pretending? Long time since I used earthling speech organs.
Ziemskich? Nie wmówisz mi, że przybyłeś z innej planety.
Earthling? Don't tell me you come from another planet. Chalk almost gone. So soon? Well, it did last quite a while. low quality. Shoot, it ran out just when this was starting to get interesting. Anyway, man, if I find something else for you to write with, we'll continue this convo.
Skończyła się kreda, będziemy musieli znaleźć nową, okej. Porozmawialiśmy z mnichem, jakiś taki dziwny jest. Wow.
Ooh, it's one of those stands where you can get a souvenir photo taken. I always thought they were a little cheesy, though. I just don't get the humor. I was probably influenced by that dumb photo my mom had hanging on the living room wall, though. Me when I was 6 with a stupid grin in Donald Duck's body. It had never occurred to me to waste my time taking a picture like that for fun.
To zdjęcie wygląda jak my trzymający Ginę. Spójrz na tylną stronę panelu.
Ah, I've reached the heart of the beast. I mean, the place where you stick coins in and the photo pops out. Oh, the lights are turned off. That means the photo stand is either unplugged or, even worse, out of order. That's where the coins are inserted. With that weird shape, though, I bet it works with tokens instead of regular coins.
Niestety nie mam żadnego żetonu w ekwipunku.
Sure, smarty pants. I couldn't even force my pinky in there. This is where the photos pop out, without a doubt. That idea is not good. 1. Insert $5 token into slot. Bills not accepted. 2. Place heads in face holes. 3. Remain totally still while photograph is taken. 4. Surfing photo will pop out in less than 1 minute.
Okej. Może w późniejszym czasie będę mógł zrobić tutaj zdjęcie.
It's all worn out from exposure to the water and salt. Yeah, right. Then I'll stick it in my pocket and take it home after turning it into a dining room table. I admit I do like the idea of the Aboriginal photographer. No can do. It must be hooked up to the rest of the machinery, and if I unhook it, it'll probably stop working.
Nie marudź. Nic, co bym mógł zabrać do ekwipunku. No dobra, wydaje mi się, że kiedy zdobędę jakieś żetony, będę mógł tutaj wrócić i wykonać jakieś zdjęcie, ale w sumie na tą chwilę nawet nie mam pojęcia, po co miałbym to robić. No ale może będę musiał podrobić jakiś dokument, dowód osobisty, paszport albo coś takiego i wtedy zdjęcie mi się przyda. Czyli tak, tutaj byliśmy. Gdyby jeszcze tylko Brian chciał troszeczkę szybciej chodzić, to by było cudnie. Idź do centrum turystycznego.
I couldn't get in. The door is locked with several chains and padlocks.
Serio? Taki kawał szedłeś stąd aż tutaj, żeby się dowiedzieć, że nie wejdziesz do środka?
I think that's one of those visitor centers for tourists that usually doubles as a souvenir shop.
A, Boziu. Morskie potrawy. Okej. Miejmy nadzieję, że kahuna będzie chociaż otwarta. To coś w rodzaju jakiejś knajpy. Hawajskiej knajpy.
I can't go in. It's closed.
Czyli cały ten obiekt jest zamknięty, nie wejdziemy do środka. Mogę się udać z powrotem do drogi, ale jeszcze zobaczę do tej dziewczyny i zobaczę, czy są jakieś nowe opcje dialogowe.
Look, Lonnie, I wanted to ask you for something.
Oh, sorry. I must be the worst waitress. What can I do for you?
No,
Nie zauważyłem tu zbyt wielu ludzi. Okej, to sobie rozmawialiśmy, to sobie też... Możesz mi pożyczyć jeszcze kawałek kredy?
Could you lend me some more chalk?
I'm sorry, but I don't have any more. That penny-pinching boss of mine steals them from the local public school. And he won't steal anymore until the last piece is reduced to a speck of dust.
Wiesz, nigdy nie dosiadałem mechanicznego byka.
You know, I've never ridden a bucking bronco before.
Well, unfortunately, you won't be riding this one either. It's been broken for a long time. I think the last guy to ride it was my ex.
That was Brian, for sure.
No, that was Giorgio's. He would saddle up and scream, "Hit it, Loki, this one's for you, baby." I would activate the button underneath the bar, and he'd buck back and forth until his perfect little behind was sore. Then I'd turn it off.
Twój były okazał się taką ofermą, że zepsuł mechanicznego byka?
Your ex was such a lummox that he busted the bucking bronco?
No, but he came from an island where people jump onto bulls. He would hop on and start doing handstands and backflips. He said it was all a matter of balance and foresight, but it didn't seem that simple.
When did that bucking bronco stop working?
Let me calculate. Since Giorgio's returned to Greece, let's see. Giorgio's was the one before Atahualpa. Atahualpa came before Vincenzo. Vincenzo was right before Nanook. And a bit later there was Joao. Then Victor. Then Abbas. Wool. Lars. Sean. Yeah, so I guess it was about 12 or 13 X's ago.
Wiesz coś o tym stoisku fotograficznym na plaży?
What do you know about that photo stand over there?
Oh, it's just another money pit for tourists that my boss set up.
Gdzie mogę dostać żetony do tego automatu fotograficznego? Ty je sprzedajesz?
Where can I get my hands on some photo stand tokens? Do you sell them?
No, they normally sell them in the souvenir shop, but since it's closed, if you had a tow truck, you could lift the photo stand platform, because lots of tourists drop coins in the cracks between them, and there they stay until my money-grubbing boss does a full sweep to gather them up.
And why isn't it working?
No, it actually works fine. It's probably just not plugged in.
Nie zauważyłem tu zbyt wielu ludzi. Opowiedz mi jeszcze, porozmawialiśmy na wszystkie tematy.
I'm gonna take a stroll. See ya later on.
See you around.
Czyli tak, musielibyśmy na pewno zdobyć kredę, żeby porozmawiać z mnichem, zdobyć jakieś żetony, żeby zrobić sobie zdjęcie. Ale wydaje mi się, że w tej okolicy nic takiego tutaj zrobić nie będę mógł.
Yeah, I'll keep inspecting the... I'll try to find that cove Lokilani told me about. Maybe her friends can help me out. Well, unless I'm lost, this must be them. And I'm willing to bet the guy with the surfboard is Knife. I'm gonna go check it out. Hey, you're Knife, right?
Sure am, mate. Have we met?
Actually, I haven't, but I've heard about you.
Gnarly, mate. My fame back at the University of California remains. I'm not surprised, though. After so many years trying to finish school, even the professors know me.
No, Lokilani's the one who mentioned you.
Lokilani's one hot babe, eh? She's like totally for my bones, mate. But don't tell Kai or he'll go aggro.
Okay. Hey, I haven't introduced myself. My name is...
I heard that, bro. You just told Brian that Lokilani thinks you're the kind. And no one's gonna swallow that, bro.
He is like totally full of himself sometimes. He thinks the fact that some shark chowed down on his paw is enough to impress a Betty. Like, wait, what did Lokilani say about me?
Not much. She just said you're crazy about surfing.
How could I not? I was born in Byron Bay.
Where?
Byron Bay, in Australia, mate. The place with the bitchinest airs on the planet, buddy boy. Thing is, when I was a kid, I didn't like surfing. I was all into underwater diving. California's where I got all hyped on surfing, but crikey, over there in Cali, it's majorly packed. You know you gotta reserve a wave at least 2 days in advance?
No, I didn't. Hard to believe.
I'm telling you, and don't think that means you get to ride it alone. Nah, they rent it out to so many mates at once you feel like you're surfing in a public toilet.
So of course you decided to come here for the peace and quiet.
For Kai, too. When I was a freshman in Surf and Sciences, I saw him do a demo and a video. And it was so gnarly that I dropped out of college to become a student. Kai rules, mate. People say he's a bum just because he spends 16 hours a day resting. but all the masters have to meditate.
I guess that video was recorded before he lost his leg, right?
Negative, mate. The most awesome thing is that his mastery is greater with that iron leg than most people with... Hey, you're not trying to get him to give you classes, are you?
Don't worry, surfing's not my thing.
You're not into surfing? Whoa, what's up with that? I knew there were some freaks out there, but... So, what brings you to Mala then?
Okej, dobra, nie będziemy przedłużać tej rozmowy, zakończymy ją w tym momencie i ten odcinek. A do tych dialogów powrócimy w kolejnym odcinku.
I'll just leave you alone here, Knife.
Later, mate. Hey, do me a favor. Don't go into my hut, because my kid's in there flipping out with a console I picked up while we were having breakfast at Lokelani's. And now that he's quiet for once, we better just leave him alone, in case he decides to come out and ruin this peaceful moment.
Taki, powiem wam szczerze, przegadany ten odcinek. No niespecjalnie mi się podobał, mało tutaj zrobiliśmy. Więcej gadania, a mniej grania. No ale wiecie, to jest druga część, ona się dopiero rozkręca, na pewno muszą te wszystkie opcje dialogowe przelecieć, a dopiero potem będzie jakiś tam ciekawy wątek fabularny. Słuchajcie, moi drodzy, w tym miejscu kończymy ten odcineczek, mam nadzieję, że mimo wszystko wam się podobał, no i do usłyszenia w poniedziałek. Dzięki wielkie za uwagę, trzymajcie się, hej!